NFC champs. We're 3-2. 4-1 is a little better. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chop Sports Show, coming to you live here on a Victory Monday. For some of us, not so much all of us, it is Sturch and it's Gooch and it's Wrestling Rob. It's also A5 behind the glass. You can throw that around you if you want. If you want to grab that, you're on. We're coming to you live from the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio right here in Matawan, New Jersey. Broadcasting from this guy's ripping paper already. Broadcasting from the Cabinet Creations Sports Desk. It is a fun Monday here at the studio. I know everybody's very excited to get going and talk about all the things that happened over the weekend.
Super excited.
I know you should be excited. I mean, there's a lot to digest. You know what, dude? You know what? There's a lot to digest over the weekend. We had ourselves a good one. Oh, some of us did. But also, if you guys want to support Chop Sports, do so by heading on over to patreon.com/Chop Sports. I'm going to keep saying this until it just the wheels fall off. I mean, we haven't had a brand new supporter in quite some time. So I would really appreciate if you guys went out there and gave us all your goddamn money. And that would help us grow, essentially, really. But anyway. Also, I want to give a shout out to Mojo. Go check out the Mojo Market Report. The link is in the bio. The link is in the description right now to go check out the Mojo Market Report. Myself and Chris, we dove into some of the better movers, the bigger movers of the Sunday slate in the NFL. So go check out Mojo as well. Rundown Ski brought to you by the Fusco Insurance Agency. Visit FuscoInsuranceAgency.com for all your retirement, wealth planning, insurance. I got to talk to him today. Hopefully he's feeling better. But that guy is the powerhouse when it comes to all of those things that he provides on his website. Hit me with a rundown. I know it's doom and gloom right now for a lot of the fan bases out there. Well, at least one in specific. Gooch, hit him with it.
Yeah. I'm one of those fan bases. I was
completely talking about baseball.
I know, Dave. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we're going to get to better news and before we get to the doom and gloom, and that is not really for the Mets, but good news for the Braves fans is that they just inked up Spencer Strider to a 7 or 8. I think it's a 7-year deal worth of around $90 million. The Braves are doing what the Braves do. Shockingly, I guess.
How many years?
It's 7 years.
Jesus
but
Christ.
Everybody is again jumping on. I'm usually on the side of these big contracts before you're eligible for arbitration or free agency aren't smart. I don't believe they're smart at the best player in baseball at 14 years. But for a pitcher that's not eligible for arbitration for like 3 or 4 years, I think it's a very smart deal. The Braves know what they are doing. Other news that I just got through the interwebs is Tennessee defensive back was arrested on felony assault charge. I got
time out. Tennessee the college or Tennessee Titans?
Tennessee the college.
Okay.
Tennessee the college.
Big game coming up this weekend.
You think he volunteered to do it?
But they just beat up on LSU on the road. But I think it's Jalen. No, that's the Pittsburgh running back. Could somebody check it and check it out? I had it in my head. God damn it! Monday morning. Victory Monday is not here, so I'm suffering.
Maybe you need
Sorry,
to sleep
guys.
Too.
Yeah, he got arrested for punching somebody in the face, knocking out their teeth, knocking them out cold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's the third Tennessee player arrested in 2 months, and they're a really good team, but they got to get that shit together.
Who's their coach? He should be held a little bit of accountable.
His
name is Jalen McCullough. Was arrested on October 9th. So felony aggravated assault charge.
Yeah, so what happened was the guy, somebody went into his apartment by accident.
What?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, shit. It's like a college situation. He went into the wrong door, noticed, I went in the wrong place.
I think my sister-in-law did that once.
Turned back.
Honestly.
Turned back. And then he turned back. I got in the wrong car the other day. By the way. Actually physically sat in.
I think for mine, it might have been my stepsister. I think she was hammered. And she walked into her own apartment at college and she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Wrong apartment. And they're
I didn't get knocked unconscious for it though. I didn't get knocked out. Here's
what the warrant reads. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So the guy who got punched, he was drinking at the same apartment complex that Mr. The guy
that
he
did
plays
it.
for.
McCullough.
So he stated that when he walked into the wrong apartment, he apologized, closed the door, began walking back towards the
And
stairs
then he got followed
in the
out.
common area. Yep. He said an unknown male pushed him
You don't
from
have
the
to
back.
be a dick about it.
Got aggressive. As he was walking away, he heard footsteps. He turned around and the male punched him in the face. He fell backwards down the stairs, lost
Ooh,
consciousness.
They left out the key part in the article that I read. He literally said the guy that got punched was like, yo, like I knew I was wrong. I was apologizing. And before he punched him, he was like, bro, like I get it, but you don't have to be a dick about it.
Oh, so he's just a piece of shit.
So then he knocked him out.
The guy's a piece of shit.
Knocked him out cold, down the steps.
Now,
and
I'm glad
when
that's
the police
all,
questioned him, he had a bloody bandage on his hand.
They found teeth going up the steps and blood. That's how they found out where to go, please. That's in the police report.
It's like the Dahmer series over on Netflix.
So yeah, that wasn't a good spot for that kid to be.
Not at all.
Clearly, anything else? And NFL, look, it's a short rundown today because we have a loaded slate. We're going to talk about the Mets. We're definitely going to be talking about the Mets in a little bit. Are we going to do that right now?
Yeah,
the
let's
Mets
just do it right now, man.
Can I say something real quick? I'm going to start this off.
Geez, look at that. Just ruthless.
I wanted to start this.
Rob, you're ruthless.
Segment off by saying that I'm not taking any pride or happiness in the fact that the Mets lost on some levels. But there is a very, very large part of me that is very happy that the Mets lost. And it's not even anything to do with baseball. It has to do with that faction of Giants fans out there that are probably also Mets fans. And the fact
that it was like more like Jets, Mets, Giants,
Yankees.
Yankees.
It's the same. They're all the same. Yankees, Mets, Giants, all the same at the end of the day, really. But for that small faction or large faction, in Dave's opinion, smaller faction of Giants fans / Mets fans, I'm just happy that you guys got to suffer a little bit yesterday after ruining my entire Sunday slate.
Wow. Okay.
So
you're
sorry,
glad
Mets.
people were suffering.
Sound the trumpets.
Yeah. All right. Look, I said it yesterday, and I was trying to be apologetic for the Mets fan base out there. And I, according to some, that there's a bunch of Mets fans out there that have been puffing their chests out the entire season. And I don't think I saw that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just completely blind. But like, if the Mets are puffing their chest out about a good season, that is in no regard talking shit about the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like, you want to go out there and say, like, oh, we're the big brother now. Well, you know you're not. So just let's not do that. But like, I don't think any of the Mets fans that were excited about the season were in turn also saying, and the Yankees suck.
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like,
save a spot for me on the couch, will you?
Who? Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's only a matter of time. I mean, look, we're not built about here. This team ain't built to. I mean, the Yankees are.
Hey, we'll see. We're built.
I'm not writing them
off. Go
off.
and play game one tomorrow. That's what we're built to do.
And game one goes down tomorrow.
Shout out to Aroldis Chapman, by the way.
Not an unexcusable absence to
inexcusable absence of a workout.
Did I say unexcusable?
Inexcusable, but give credit to Aaron Boone. But really, I guess they were just looking for their.
Like, go fuck yourself.
Put it this way: if Aroldis Chapman had a 1 flat ERA, he didn't have to go to that workout. I promise. He'd be on that roster. But right now, it's like
so you better get your shit together.
And people, they'll have to use him if they put him on the roster.
But
good thing.
In regards to the Mets, this graphic in particular was actually very well done by you, Chris. I don't really understand the mentality of the stadium and the organization and the decision makers to do the trumpet thing down 4-0 in the 8th. And it's like this team and this fan base is on edge right now. They're pissed. They're losing. I think the last thing they want to see is Mr. Met run out there and start blowing the trumpet. Like, that is in such bad
let me set the scene here.
It's so
right?
dumb.
Was Edwin Diaz coming out?
Yeah, so let me set the scene. Let me set
but
the
down
scene.
4.
You're
like,
down. Look at the graphic. You're down 4. There's a man on first and second. So it's not like,
right.
The situation is bleak, and it gets more bleak when you actually look at the actual in-game situation that's taking place. And the Mets fans, I got to give them credit in this regard because they were trying to get into the game. They had 3 hits at that point.
They had 1 hit last night. 1.
Are you sure?
They were 1 hit, and it was Pete Alonso. 1 hit. Trust me when I tell you,
all right,
they had
so
1 hit.
I read the article that said 3 hits. So
3 men on.
Shitty article.
3 base runners.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. But yeah, they couldn't do that because the fan base was looking for a reason to get back into the game. And it's not easy when your team isn't hitting and you're down in a playoff game. It's bleak. You're desperate at that point. And at that moment, as you're trying to cling to any little bit of hope and you're down and it's looking really bad, and then you have to fucking be embarrassed on top of it.
It's
like the loss itself was embarrassing enough, but who makes these decisions for the Mets?
It's like we're all we're
I'm not
pissed
here
off.
to pile on, but I mean, I'm sure I'm echoing the sentiment that most Mets fans are feeling the same way about this situation.
They're like, what the? No,
You should
they're
have
not doing this. They're not doing this now. We're down by 4. We can't do this right now. We're down by 4 runs. I want to go home.
Can I also talk about this too? Ready? It was game 1 and they're down. Game 1, they're down and they're playing We Are the Champions in the 7th inning. And shit like that.
It's not. They did this to themselves. And I'm talking about the organization. The fan base, they didn't deserve this. They didn't. I'm sorry. And there's no Mets fans that I go out there and I'm like, I hate this kid because he's a Mets fan. There are Mets fans out there that were strutting their shit the entire season about how they're the best team in baseball, best pitching staff in baseball, blah, 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 blah. The rest is history. Well, it's no longer proven, and that team will not look the same next year. So whatever they do in the offseason, we'll see how it goes. I know Nimmo had a fantastic interview yesterday calling the Mets them and their and they've and like completely flip the script. Like, I'm no longer a Met. The season is over, and I'm going to say they've done this.
It's business.
I mean, yeah, I get it, but boy, oh boy, that's
I think the Mets are going to offer him some money, so I don't.
They should. I mean,
his agent saying, "Hey, as soon as that game ends, if they put a
camera." Oh yeah, here's another Sam Grasso coming in.
I was just going to get to it too.
This is like, it's not Bush League, but it's just like you're grasping at straws here, man.
It's not Bush League. It's fucking baseball, and they made baseball made it Bush League. The fact that that's even a thing, and they're making that a thing, but Buck Showalter's been known to do it in the past, and I don't think it's even a deterrent. You're not knocking a pitcher off his game. A guy that's been thrown like that all day, all you're doing is motivating him. I don't know that it was the right move, but I don't think it made an impact on the game whatsoever. He was already
his ears were very shiny though. He was sweating.
He was already twirling a gem.
I know Jack is in the chat. What's up, Jack? Good morning. Happy Victory Monday to you too, pal. Justin Tucker, don't miss. But anyway, you're saying Tom Burns. I know what you're talking about. There's one guy who we called out. And yes, he is MIA, man. That's the kind of guy. That's the one Mets fan that you just want to.
I was waiting for Rube.
Rube's definitely not popping in today. There's no way. There's no shot that Rube shows his face today after a season that they just had.
How about a game? How about a game clinch a game and it wasn't sold out in New York?
I mean, I think it was. Apparently, there was tickets available, but there are also people dipping. Like, that's a tough situation, man. I mean, look, you won't see that happening in the Bronx. I don't think so.
Yes, you will.
What? Leaving?
Yes. People are people.
People are people.
Like
next on the Chop Sports
show. To sit here and collectively say
whoa.
I don't have that in my thing yet. I'm looking, so I don't know why.
That's breaking news right now. Could that be a thing?
Looking, I don't see that.
I mean, I don't
boy.
think they're lying. I don't think they're lying.
I looked, but I don't see anything yet.
I'm gonna go right to Shefty here because he's the one to do it. I might have some breaking news as we. Yep.
Yeah, he's fired.
Panthers fired head coach Matt Rule, who's gone 11-27. Rule leaves Carolina 4-year, 7-year contract. Holy shit!
There's some college
we've been
program
saying this on the show for about 2 weeks. He was going to be the first to go.
There's some college program somewhere that is fucking salivating at the chance to bring Matt Rule in. I can promise you that.
That is incredible.
He could recruit.
Yo, so shout out to Matt Rule for saving the Mets segment because it was just getting really fucking doom and gloom, and now it's even worse because now, wow. I wonder if Sauce is a big Matt Rule guy.
Rutgers needs an offensive coordinator. That's right.
Mr. Shake dropping in.
What's up, Mr.
Matt Rule
Shake?
is probably going to get a
How about Nebraska?
Job.
Yeah, saying Nebraska. Listen, that's a big thing. We'll get into the Panthers game in a little bit. But yeah, the Mets are the Mets right now. And look, this goes to show you that you can't get too high. You just can't. Okay, you can't get too high on these teams because this is the kind of shit. And listen, if anybody knows about overachieving in the regular season and getting bounced in the playoffs like that, it's me. Okay, the Cowboys do it, and the Packers too. I mean, that's it happens to the good teams. You got to let this shit play out. You can't just sit there and be like, well, we won 100+ games. We're the best team in baseball. We got the best two pit. Those San Diego Padres showed up, man. And just like that, within a blink of an eye, it's all over.
There is
you well over there. You good?
Humbling. No. Very humbling to get eliminated in the playoffs when you have that type of hope, because it really was like I said it going into the weekend. I was like, well, the Mets are in a better spot than almost every team in baseball right now because of the two pitchers. Max didn't show up, and they paid him a lot of money to show up in that spot. Great season. Looks a lot like Garrett Cole to me right now.
Manny Machado talking shit. I mean, look, Machado is Machado.
He's the guy. Smoking.
He's the guy.
Yeah. First of all, if you're not a Manny Machado fan, I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
I mean, if you're a Mets fan, you're not a Manny Machado fan.
I get it, but still, pull all that aside. Manny
This
Machado
team's
is one
doing
of the
all
most
this without
fun.
Tatis.
He's one of the most fun baseball players in the game.
Insane.
Yeah,
just nuts.
But this is why they made the trade for Bell and for Soto. Same thing.
Soto
Even
didn't
Bell
do
Same
shit.
thing for
playing
Seattle. They made the trade for Castillo.
Neither
to
guy,
start game
Bell or
one.
Soto, really delivered in the actual regular season. But Josh Bell hit that big home run in game 1.
Got it started.
Yeah. So sorry to all those Mets fans out there as the season comes to a crashing halt. I know that the Mets fans are not going to throw their support behind the Yankees, and that's totally cool.
Nor should they.
You don't know. That's
No,
the thing, man. I don't see. I've never. Your boy yesterday swore up and down that he's like, Dave, you're lying. You hate the Mets deep down. Why? This is not a rivalry between the Yankees and the Mets. It's just not.
But
it's a location, guys.
I don't hate the Mets.
The Giants and the Jets fans don't.
I don't
aren't
hate
at
the
each
Mets.
other's
I
throats.
don't hate the Mets,
For
but
what?
I don't like certain Mets fans. I don't take solace because for every Mets fan that I don't really, and like when I say I don't like, it has nothing to do with that as them as a person. I'm talking about our relationship in context to the sports that we follow. I don't like Rube as a Mets fan. It bothers me.
I like Common Man Rube,
right?
who just talks
But then
sports.
when I'm talking like Ibby and my buddy Joe's dad, who was disappointed yesterday,
father.
your dad, like I'm like, all right, I feel for them. That sucks. So I won't pour it on. But when I'm on this platform, I'm sure my day is coming. It came yesterday. Nobody held back.
Shout out. I got to give a special shout. I have to Bonus Mom Barry. And the reason why I say this, yesterday, by the way, was her first experience. And she's over, her first ever pumpkin picking experience. She's a Brooklyn girl.
Nice.
She's never done it before in her life. And yesterday she did it for the first time. But shout out to her. She had to sit and endure me and my father. My brother was at his new home. And me and my dad screaming at the TV for the Cowboy game. And then when the Cowboy game was over, my dad flipped it over to the Met game. And she's like, I got to deal with this shit now too. I was like, I'm out. Like, I leave. So shout out to her for weathering the storm. But like, look, that's why I don't hate the Mets. And that's why I'll never have any hatred for the Mets.
Fuck the Mets.
I mean, that's what makes the difference between you and
I don't
Chris.
care. I don't care. Fuck the Mets. And the next day I'm like, Mets. Cool. I don't care. In other words, I don't care.
Oh, well, it is.
But
what it
I
is.
am happy that you guys lost yesterday because of the
Well,
Giants
that
fans.
Scoop brings it up too. I dislike a majority of the Yankee fans. I do too.
No, not a majority. All of you.
Yeah, like
I don't even like myself.
I want
obviously.
you
I
completely
think we established
written off
that.
the face of the earth if you're one of the 27 rings, bro. Like, first of all, you were alive for probably none of them. I guarantee maybe one of them in 09. All you 90s, like later kids who were born in 2000 or 22 years old right now and say, kiss the rings, you saw nothing. So stop. Just stop. It's so annoying. It's just cringeworthy shit to go out there and say 27 rings. It's like me. It's like a Cowboys fan. Like, oh, we got 5 Super Bowls. I'll make a joke about it, but I won't be serious about it. That's ridiculous.
Did anybody see Toronto blow that game?
I thought this year was supposed to be a movie.
It was like 8-1.
I thought that Vlad Guerrero Jr. said that last year was the trailer and this year was supposed to be a movie.
Yeah,
F the Blue Jays. See, I could say that because one, you're from Canada.
It was
Sorry,
a
Mark.
movie, but it wasn't their fucking movie.
Yeah, they did not star in the feature film. All right, they did not star, so they're gone too. So obviously, we're not on the air tomorrow. We'll be on the air Thursday, but the Yankees start tomorrow. The entire division series starts tomorrow. The Yankees are 7:37. I was going to hit you up, Scoop. By the way, like obviously we have the Yankees on Tuesday and Thursday, but the stars have aligned. Saturday night, Yankees 7:00. What say you, my friend? Let's do something. All right, so that's the Mets. I'm done with the Mets.
Shout out to Mr. Shake, the newest Patreon member. There you go.
How about
in real time?
Look at that.
Mike.
Look
I
at that.
appreciate you, buddy.
That's incredible. Thank you so much, Mr. Shake. All right, so before we get into the Week 5 madness, I do want to let you guys know that this show is being brought to you in part by Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Avenel, if you really want to get technical, it's right there on Route 1. My boys George, Greg over there at the at Subaru right now. By the way, Subaru just dropped a new vehicle. I've never been a personal fan of Subaru, but I have family members that drive those things. The thing looks pretty badass. Like I forget what it's called. Greg posted it the other day. But if you're a truck guy, get on over there. I'm a Blazer guy. I drive my Blazer. I love the thing. Go on over to Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru right now. There are specials all the time. Tell them Chop Sports sent you. They'll probably hook you up with a some kind of free something. They're always giving away stuff. So check out those guys. And of course, the Pickett app, which I should have never even looked at it yesterday. I feel very dirty after I have to look at my own bets after this weekend. College, pro, horrible for me at least. I know some people won some money in the Sauce Network. You said was even yesterday or something like that. Me personally, I just pretty much lost everything I got. But you can use the promo code Chop Sports on the Pickett app. It tracks all your bets. You can go over there and check out all the social media type stuff. It's basically a social media platform for betting. Speaking of social media, our friends at Dat Chat, they're also supporting the Chop Sports Show as always. So shout out to my boy Glenn, Dolphins fan Glenn. I guess we'll get into that in a little bit. And of course, our friends over at Hater Fantasy Sports, who put together another successful weekend of games over there, where you're paying to pick the shitty people. I guess you can say that. Overall, you're trying to get the low score. It's kind of like a golf game. You want the lowest score, you win your contest over there. StevenSpar.com for ChopSportsMedia.com. Of course, our friends down the hall at Lowell's doing all the merchandise for Mattawan Day, which before you know it, it'll be here in about 12 days. So we're excited about that. Hopefully the weather holds up. Gooch, one more again for Manscaped.
Look, I had a really, really hard day yesterday. Really rough weekend in general. I took a bath on Saturday. I did well on my bets yesterday, but the Packers let me down in a big, big way. So it's just a really sad day all around. But I did have that 15 minutes before bed last night where I busted out my trusty old Manscaped razor with the porcelain blade. It was the best 15 minutes that I've experienced in probably about a week, 2 weeks now. Ash has been gone. Shout out to Ash. He's back from Africa. So it's been a rough go of it.
No
for
Lions.
Me.
Good job.
On the fresh off the heels of a Packers embarrassing loss at home in London. I shaved my balls with a Manscaped razor, and it was just exhilarating. And now I'm here to tell you guys about it. But if you head on over to manscaped.com and use the promo code CHOPSPORTS, you too could have those 15 minutes of pleasure. All you got to do is wait about a week.
15 minutes.
It'll be there.
I feel like that's long.
Bro.
You should go short on your balls.
I shave everything. It's a full body.
Okay. I don't need to know any of that shit.
Full body. Action.
Okay. All right. The Lawnmower 4.0 does it all.
I'm sorry for the bleak doom and gloom versions of myself today, but you guys know what it is.
I know how to bring your spirits up. Rob, bring up the first game, the Giants and the Packers here, as we did it. And we started it off in jolly old London. Very, very tough sledding for Aaron Rodgers and the boys. The Giants, look, I'm not about to sit here and sing the praises of the New York Giants. But when you beat a Packer team, you kind of have to. You kind of actually have to acknowledge the fact that the Giants finally beat somebody. Are the Packers somebody? I'd say so. It's hard for me to say like the Packers are just no good. So the Giants get it done. And look, credit to coach. You know, he's got those guys fired up. Saquon Barkley playing all world. They got it done. Gooch, explain yourself,
how this
man.
went down.
Yeah, sure.
I said it on Friday, and obviously I'm never going to pick against the Packers, but I have a hard time laying points with a team laying like a not double digits, but it was up around 9 at one point. I think it closed at 9 with the Packers. Right?
It got that high?
Yeah, it was up to 9, down to 8. I think back up to 9 the last I saw it. But they can't stop the run. When you can't stop the run, their time of possession is so bad this year. The Patriots controlled the clock against them. They laid the blueprint. I basically saw what would have happened in the Patriot game if Mac Jones would have played. You probably would have saw two losses in a row, ugly losses in games that we should have won. Two things I would say about the Giants. One, you got to tip your cap to Daniel Jones because the guy doesn't have the greatest numbers yesterday, but in pressure situations and when they needed to make plays, and specifically in the second half and the fourth quarter, he delivered. Another thing that I'll say about the Giants is that they outcoached the Packers yesterday in a major way. Brian Daboll is that dude, right? I'm not going to say he's one of the best coaches in the league yet.
Don't do that
because he's not.
That guy won another game last night.
To go, but the Giants right now sit at 4-1. You could sit here and say what you want about who they've played, this, that, and the other thing, but a 4-1 team through 5 weeks in the NFL with some big second half comebacks, that team is starting to find their groove. And Daniel Jones is looking like he may be the actual quarterback of the future in New York because Daboll said, I'm glad he's our quarterback.
What's he gonna say?
I mean,
what's he gonna say after a win?
Hey,
man, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do.
I have a question. This is their 4th win. I haven't heard him say that yet. This was a big win. They played well in the second half. The Giants are the best second half team in football right now.
A5. How you feeling, bro? Honestly. You excited? You getting behind this train here or what?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm more excited about the coaching staff and the mentality of the team because he just legit took a complete 360 from when Joe Judge was.
It's a 180, but whatever. Keep going.
180, yeah, whatever.
Everybody does that.
As for Daniel Jones being our future quarterback,
careful.
He's still
careful what you wish for.
I'm still iffy about it because I was never on the Daniel Jones.
Well,
train.
guess what? The Giants are 4-1, so they're not going to be picking in the top 10, I would imagine, unless the wheels come off.
Guys.
Bro, teams, yeah, it's still a long season.
There's 12 games left. The Giants are going to lose next week. Okay, it's
So
the wheels will
Giants
fall off
lose
this
next
team.
week. If the Giants win 3 more games, there's a very good chance that they're not picking inside the top 10.
You think 7 and 10 get you out of the
Look
top
at the
10?
league. Look, I mean, maybe not, but I think the Giants are definitely good for more than 3 wins, though. Is what I'm saying.
Wait until you see. Wait and see. You all right over there?
I'm just talking to him.
So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
curious. What do you think the Giants are going to finish? They're 4-1. Make your prediction.
So
Right now.
I don't have the schedule in front of me.
You basically play the same teams they do.
That's a fact. That's a good point. Way to look at
Giants could win 8 games.
Oh,
So they're going to go. They could. That's like ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, that's not. I think their ceiling's a little higher than that. That
Okay.
coach, the coach is why
That's
I'm
fine.
giving them that. The
That's fine.
crossover is who? The
Great-
AFC South.
Great win yesterday.
Who do you guys play in the crossover? The AFC North, right?
I don't remember our crossover
Is
game.
it Cincinnati, Pittsburgh?
We beat up on Cincinnati.
Hawaii
So-
Mike's coming in with a good question. Do you
Okay.
guys give Daniel Jones a clean slate now because it is a new coach,
Yes,
because it is a new
100%.
system, and maybe nobody else
I wouldn't
is?
say
I
a
didn't really
clean
think about
slate.
that
You
till
can't.
now.
There is bad film on him, regardless of who was the coach. But you have to give him a little bit of a pass. You have to wipe some of that slate clean. But a clean slate, you can't, because he still has made bad decisions.
Bad
He's been
fumbles.
taking really bad care of the
All right.
football, and that's not really the coaching.
Just
no
quick.
coach is like teaching him how to fumble.
Just quick. Home against the Ravens. That's a loss. At Jacksonville. That'll be a game. No matter what, right?
Jacksonville looked
At
bad.
Seattle, who all of a sudden can actually run and throw the football. They're not a walkover anymore. Then they got to bye. Then they play the Texans at home. They'll win that game, right? So I'll give you 1. Detroit, more than likely, that game's in New York. I'll give you 2. You're not coming into Dallas and winning on Thanksgiving. You're just not doing it. I was nervous about it at first. You're not doing it this time.
for this portion of the
For sure. Commanders, you'll get that one. Philly, no shot. Commanders, you might split with them. Minnesota at Minnesota, not winning that game. Indy, when they're probably rolling a little better. All right. I'll go on record. I'll go on record right now
but
and say that the Giants could win 9 games total.
every single game
will not win you a division.
every single game that's like a 50-50 game, you automatically gave to the other team, though. Like Seattle, like that's a fucking
That's a
winnable
win
game.
for the Giants.
In
That's
Seattle?
a winnable, yes, it's a very
100%.
winnable game.
Gino,
Last time we
revenge
went to
game?
Seattle, we won.
But I
Huh?
mean, it's different.
I think
mean,
Geno Smith was our quarterback last time.
Well, it's all a revenge game, folks. Revenge.
that was definitely,
Revenge.
that was definitely
Um,
6 wins easy that you said. So they're at 4 now. That's
I wouldn't
10.
say 6 easy, because the wheels could come off too. Saquon could get hurt in a week.
That's true, very
things,
Look, maybe
so
I'm just
a lot
trying to-
of things have to go wrong. For
Maybe
the
I'm just
Giants
trying to
go
put the
bad,
hex on all
But
of
look,
this shit.
I think the Giants are in a really good
The
spot.
Giants are
they got
playing
4
well.
wins through 5 weeks of football. They just beat the Packers. I don't know what to say about it as far as the Packers go. The play calling was bad. There was definitely a few gifts by the refs, but at the end of the day, it was the tackling that was the issue. It wasn't the refs.
So according to the like scoop, then they're going to win 12 games and win the NFC East. All right, how about that? You want to go there? You want to say that the Giants are a playoff team on year 1 of Dayball with Daniel Jones as your quarterback, and Saquon Barkley is one bad blow of the wind from going down? Whatever, man. I'm good. I'm good with
Are
it.
they the biggest surprise so far in the NFL this year?
Sure.
Through
Yes.
5 weeks.
Yes. Sure.
I gotta think, but they're one of them.
They're
We'll
guys.
come back to
No,
that
I
at the
mean,
end.
I mean,
they picked in the top 5 last year, and
you
now
could
they're
almost
4 and
point
1.
to
So,
Cooper
yeah,
Rush too as being one of the surprises.
That's a good.
He's going 4-0.
That's a good. True.
yeah,
That's a-
dog.
that
Let's
is
move
a
on to that
true.
one. Actually, let's not move on to that one.
We're
Next.
here.
Let's talk about the JETS first, okay? And they get the job done, absolutely handled the Miami Dolphins. It was a little tough sledding in the beginning, but then they pull away. Brees Hall, RB1. He's the truth. He's the guy over there. Michael Carter, a great. I'm going to start naming it this, Gooch. And I know this is not a breaking news thing, but we keep saying backups whenever they're not the starter.
Compliment.
I was going to say supplemental, like compliment, supplement, like that's the back, because that tandem, great. They're great. And you know what? If that offensive line gets any better, Elijah Vera Tucker, bro, didn't he start yesterday at left tackle? Guy's never played left tackle in his life.
Nope.
Like, that's how you know that these guys have versatility on the offensive line. And shout out to my man, Zach Wilson, getting it done, not making any mistakes, getting the job done. Their defense played well. Sauce Gardner gallops up his first interception.
And a safety.
A safety, right? So you look at the Dolphin team and you're like, all right, there's no Tua. Well, we got Teddy, and then there's no Teddy. And like, look, so then, yes, you have to take that with a massive grain. But to put 40 on a defense and put 40 on an NFL team, when you score 40 points in the NFL, that is good football. You played good football. The Jets played good football. And now, you know, 2 teams in New York with competitive football heading towards Halloween season. Nobody saw that shit coming. I love it. For the city, at least, I love it. The Jets played well.
Rushing touchdowns yesterday.
It makes me sick, actually.
So what now?
Not the
5
Jets,
rushing
but
touchdowns yesterday.
Unbelievable.
It makes me physically ill
For what?
that the Giants and the Jets are good right now because I got to play the Jets next week.
Oh, you don't want.
And
you
I
don't
really
want
am
that
not-
smoke.
I am not looking for. I am looking forward to the game because I don't think the Jets are going to.
Have you looked at the spread yet?
We're 2-0
No.
on the road.
What's the
No.
curious to know, like, what you think the spread should be?
Packers at home coming off of a loss? I'm saying 6.5.
I was thinking
Touchdown.
5.
All right, I see that.
It's
I can
seven,
definitely
maybe
see that.
7.
If anybody wants to chime in the comments, you can. But yeah, so the Jets played well. A good.
Look at Matt LaFleur's record coming off an L. Very good.
I don't think he's lost coming off an L. You know what I'm saying? I'm being dead
I
ass.
remember we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I think he's lost coming off a loss.
And he was out coached in this game, so I think he's gonna. And him and Robert Saleh are boys. They like do Thanksgiving together. and
What do you guys
Christmas
think of this?
together.
No, I don't agree, Jack. The expectations for both teams going into the season, the Jets had higher expectations. They did. So the fact that the Jets are 3-2 and the Giants are 4-1, the Giants are more surprising to me.
I'd say
because-
it's almost like a congruent story. It's like the story is the Giants and the Jets in some ways because they're both linked.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations to the Jets. Now, how about beating the NFL Super Bowl champions yesterday? That's what the Dallas Cowboys were able to do behind an amazing, amazing defense. And I'm going to say this right now. I'll go on record. I've been alive 37 years. This is the best defense I've ever seen them have. Ever.
I thought you were
the
about to
Cowboys.
say the best defense ever.
No, come on, man.
Dave,
Come
damn
on,
it,
come on.
Dave.
I'm not an ass. It's only sometimes. But like this defense, I've never seen the pass rush the way it is. I've never seen them open field tackle 9 times out of 10. For the life of me, these guys would never be able to make an open field tackle. They would just get mulled over.
Must be
Or
nice.
what? I know, and it's credit to their defensive coordinator and Dan Quinn. And here we are. Believe it or not, Cooper Rush has come out and ripped off 4 wins after the Brady game and Dak going down. And last year, even into last year, he's 5-0 as a starter. The Cowboys never had a starter go 4-0 in their first 4 starts. Now he's 5-0. Look, Cooper Rush, yesterday settled the debate for anybody who has a legitimate working football brain. There is no debate. Cooper Rush is not the quarterback that Dak Prescott is. It's case closed, okay? Because you saw that the Cowboys offense was dialed down a little bit, okay? And they basically adjusted to the strengths that they had. This game reminded me of a lot like the first game last year against Tampa Bay, where Kellen Moore was exposing Tampa for what they didn't have. What the Rams don't have is a run defense. And what they did was they stuffed it down their throat. And they had over 160 or 170 combined rushing yards. They might even be almost closer to 180. They did fantastic on the ground. And when Cooper Rush had to make a throw, he made the throw. You know, there wasn't many throws where I'm like, oh, God, what was that? He's a capable backup in the league. He's won 4 games. There is no controversy. If Dak Prescott's ready to go this week against Philly, Dak will be the quarterback against Philly. If he's remotely in any way, shape, or form like hindered, then it's another Cooper Rush vehicle. But there's no more debate. The Cowboys defense is what took this team from 0-1 to 4-1. Cooper Rush did not win any of these games. He also did not lose any of these games. So that's my nugget on Cooper Rush for the year, because right now it's a fun story. It's exciting. The Cowboys are 4-1. I even said this the other day here, Chris, when we were outside. I said, with all the stuff going on with our business and Mojo and everything that our wheels are spinning, I haven't gotten a chance to actually appreciate the fact that my football team hasn't lost a game in a month. And I'm like, this is very exciting shit. So I'm excited. So the Cowboys are 4-1. But here, I'll ask you this though. You don't have to give the Cowboys flowers. I know it pains you to do that.
No, it doesn't. I'll flip the script. Bitter about my team.
Flip the script. Are the Rams okay?
No, Rams are a mess. I said it going in. Look, Dave, I'm very happy about the Cowboys win because I made a lot of money betting the Cowboys yesterday. So I'm happy about that. That was one of my bigger plays. I feel like the writing was on the wall.
Sam, great game yesterday.
The Rams were just not able to block anybody for Stafford in the 2 games where they faced like a crazy pass rush. They got destroyed. It was against Buffalo week 1 and then San Francisco week 2. Stafford was sacked 7 times in each of those games.
He got banged around
Look
yesterday.
at his numbers. Stafford is just not playing well. I think he's hurt. I think the Rams, they need Odell, but I don't think Odell wants to go there anymore because they're playing like shit. Cooper Kupp is a one-man show, and he's going to continue to eat, but I don't know. They need to establish a run. They need to make things easier on Stafford because teams know exactly what they're going to do and when they're going to do it, and that's just not helping what I see as one of the worst offensive lines in football right now.
I mean, they've done the shuffle 5 weeks in a row now. They have not had a continuity has not been built.
They are banged up, but that's the nature of the sport. You're
Right.
going to deal with that.
The Cowboys lost Tyron Smith before the season started. Then they're making do. You know, Rush isn't even getting a big load. You know, there's not a good. The defensive pass rushes that they've been playing are actually relatively okay.
Yeah.
And he's not getting banged around. So that's a credit to the offensive line. Tyler Smith, my God. He holds on every play. He had to. There's no other way to stop Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald is still all world good. But I have to say this before we get off the Cowboy game, that if you were in the conversation when there's comparisons being drawn about Micah Parsons and Lawrence Taylor, the style of play is very, very, very similar. I'm saying the style of play is similar. Okay. He's only 2 years into the league. Anybody who's making the comparison that he is Lawrence Taylor, that's stupid. That's silly. But the style of play, the guy had half a groin, if that's even a physical thing. He had nothing left yesterday. He told McCarthy, I can't run around. Don't ask me to cover anybody, but I'll rush the quarterback. And he did so, and he had Stafford flat on his back.
I wonder what
Micah Parsons is a one-man wrecking crew.
MD has to say about them leaving Parsons in the game with a chance to be re-injured. It's fucked up.
It's not a head injury.
But what if he tore his groin? He can't be. He's out for the rest of the year. You wouldn't be upset.
Bro, you have kids. You would let your kid play with a fucking groin injury.
Here we go. And that's it.
Serious
So the Cowboys.
Serious question. So we got the Eagles next week.
Correct? Yeah. It's Eagle week,
you
baby.
Start Rush if Dak is okay and see how it plays?
Nope.
No. You go Dak right away.
If Dak is healthy,
Dak is in.
God, I don't know about that.
Listen, here's the thing. And the story is this. When Dak came into the league in 2016, he was a third-string quarterback. Kellen Moore breaks his ankle. The rest is history. He goes on this 11-game winning streak, the Cowboys, right? After game 8, Tony Romo was healthy and ready to come back. Tony Romo was the one who said, look, man, I'm at the twilight of my career. Like, this guy is unreal. Like, and that was it. He called it a football's a meritocracy. Exactly. Two different situations because Romo was on his way out.
Yes.
Dak is 30. He's not on his way out.
And they're paying him $250 million.
And they're paying him $1 billion. Right. He's not going anywhere. So anyway, go Cowboys 4-1, baby. Let's go. This one out of control. Not much to talk about other than the fact that the Steelers got sparked yesterday. Kenny Pickett's first start. I said it was going to be a recipe for disaster for him to have his first start against the Bills. The spread was 14. They could have did it twice. They could have had a 28-point spread, 38-3. The Bills get a job done.
They could have had a 34.5-point spread.
Very true. That's math.
Yeah,
Are the Bills the best team in football right now?
I don't know. It's week 5. They're playing.
That's what I say right now.
Yeah, like the Chiefs, I think, are the best team in football right now.
We're going to find out tonight. But we'll talk about it.
I think Pittsburgh isn't necessarily a great barometer with a rookie quarterback making his first start to say that Buffalo is the best team in football. You saw what Baltimore did to them in the first half just a week ago. There's a little bit of that in Buffalo still, too. I know that their defense is banged up. But again, nature of the sport, you're going to have to play banged up. Buffalo is clearly a really, really good football team.
Mm-hmm. Gabe Davis out of control.
Because of the Packers' failure to be able to stop the run and how good they are at getting to the quarterback, I did like a deep dive throughout the NFL as to like what teams, if any, are good at both. And there's only a few of them that are. It's like the 49ers, the Bills, Bengals are like okay.
Through 5 weeks of football, the Cowboys and the 49ers are the only teams in the NFL who've not let up 20 points yet. Just another little nugget for you. Like it's pretty good defense.
Yeah, the Bills are. I could say that they're obviously the Chiefs and the Bills are the two best teams.
It looked in football. Effortless to watch Josh Allen flick that rock around. It really did, bro. He's just sitting there. He's like, he's over there.
The Steelers defense
over there,
in
like
shambles. Right now.
I understand that, but for Christ's sakes, I mean, this is the NFL. You know, these guys are NFL athletes. They should not be getting shellacked like that. I mean, Josh Allen is just a cut above the rest. He really is.
Yeah.
Next week, Buffalo, Kansas City, 4:30. I think. So.
Oh, interesting.
Is this
get rid of him.
Yeah, okay.
At least it's not the sex bot
friends.
So anyway, Bills romp. A game that could have been had by the Cardinals, and the Cardinals, to me, and I've said this time and time again for 5 weeks now, Cardinals aren't very good. They almost had a chance to tie the game, but they got Matt Amendola as their kicker, who's been cut by every franchise in the league, and he can't get it done. So the Philadelphia Eagles are now 5-0. This game, to me, was if you want to call it the blueprint or the first test for the Eagles, sure, but I still don't think they've been tested. So and if it's a Cooper Rush driven vehicle next week, that's still not a test for this defense. It's just not. It's just not. Their offense will get tested a little bit as far as Micah Parsons and company if he's healthy, which I'm sure he'll rest up. But the Eagles have not they've given up a lot of points. They're scoring points, but how come you only put up 20? Like, if you're that dominant of an offense, you should be just crushing the competition.
Road win in the conference in the NFL at the end of the year, that shit's not going to matter. That it's a win.
I definitely couldn't have made that field. No way.
The Eagles are a good team. Obviously, I don't think that they're on the level of Buffalo or Kansas City yet. They have to prove it a little bit more. Jalen Hurts, he's putting up some sick, insane rushing stats throughout the first 25 games of his career. He's actually got more touchdowns rushing, 18 through 25 games, more than Cam had.
See, I don't know how much credit you can give let's see here, OddsShark. So if I go to OddsShark's Twitter, they got 146,000 followers. So somebody's following OddsShark. Updated Super Bowl favorites right now through 5 weeks of football. The Bills at 350, the Eagles at plus 600. They've jumped everybody. No, the Chiefs at plus 750.
This is also influenced by bettors.
The 49ers are 1,100. The Bucks are 12. The Ravens are 14. The Packers are 14. I'm keep going. The Cowboys, the 4-1 Dallas Cowboys, are plus 2,000 to win the Super Bowl right now. I understand they have an offense, but Jesus Christ.
I would be very, very. That's like a very good spot to be in week 5. While you're 4-1, it's like, okay, you have enough doubt to keep the locker room kind of focused. When you don't want to peak in week 5. The Eagles, I think they're going to be a playoff team. Obviously, their NFC is kind of shitty this year.
No, whatever. In any event, the Eagles get it done. They're 5-0. You can't knock that. They haven't lost yet. So Cowboys, Eagles next Sunday night. I'll be singing a different tune possibly on Monday morning when we're walking in here and doing our show.
Dallas or Philly? Where is
it? In Philly. Yeah, they end the year in Dallas. We just talked about Matt Rule being fired here on the show, and this is probably the reason. The 49ers go in there, stomp them out in Carolina, and, we were all on the 49ers here. There was just Panthers are a bad football team all of a sudden, and Baker Mayfield was photographed, or at least taken a picture of, or whatever, seen in a walking boot after the game. So they're in shambles
Panthers
right now.
Fans, because you do not need to win any more football games, because Baker Mayfield is not the guy, and you don't have the guy on your roster. Maybe Matt Corral.
Didn't he get hurt?
But he's hurt too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying for future,
you're right, though.
For future,
go ahead and
just mail it in.
Oh, 5 weeks you're saying mail it in?
Well, I'm not saying they should mail it in because you have vets on the team and
they're
you
2
can't
and 3, bro.
You want to avoid the Hugh Jackson situation.
I think they got 2 wins.
2 wins?
If they got 2 wins, no.
Why would they have fired Matt Rule if they're 2
wins?
Yeah,
that's true. All right, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm tired.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, walking boot,
they're
walking
1-4.
boot. He sucks.
Okay.
And
the Niners have a really good defense.
It's not going to get any better. It's a shame they can't fire Baker as well because he's a player and the contract exists.
I do feel bad for Matt Rule, though. McCaffrey's out all year last year and every year that he's been here. They don't have a quarterback. They're not giving him many.
Oh, so the NFL. Welcome, Matt.
He still has, so Matt Rule has 4 years.
I know. They got to pay him.
On his contract.
They got to pay all that money.
All that, right?
Yeah, I feel so. Poor Matt Rule.
62.
He doesn't have to do a goddamn thing, and he makes millions now. Great, and he's going to go get paid double in college.
That's true. Good point, Chris.
He's like highly sought after right now.
I hope Scoop's in the room for this.
Did you ever add the Ravens, by the way?
Yeah, it's at the end.
Okay, cool.
I see it.
All right, so this one. Okay, look, I've been trying very hard to sing the praises of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm very excited about this team. They're young. They're good. Trevor Lawrence looks like shit. You gave up a whole bunch of yards to Dameon Pierce, who, by the way, looks like the real deal. That dude looks like he can carry a load behind him, man. Ooh. Like this guy. What? Oh, God. All right. Anyway.
You've been high on him, though, the whole time, right?
Yeah.
Dameon Pierce. Chris, I'm talking about.
Yeah. He's my guy for sure. Dameon Pierce, it's time. Dameon Pierce is the dude. I know Jacksonville's defense is, but
all that draft capital, bro.
He's gotten it done in against the Chargers a week ago. He had a 75-yard touchdown run. But really, this was such a shitty game. There's not much to talk about other than the fact that this is what you expect the Jaguars to do. The Lions, the Jaguars, like these teams suck. So everybody gets way too ahead. And I was one of the people too. I think the Jaguars have potential. I like Doug Peterson. I do think Trevor Lawrence is got talent, but I just saw that Powerade commercial or whatever commercial it was, and I was like, I almost fell asleep. It was 15 seconds, and it was the most boring thing. It was like bells. It was like a Kanye West All of the Lights video, and then Trevor Lawrence talking over it, and it was like, bro, dude. He's like, are you guys ready to play? Everyone's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
All right, moving on to another piss poor team in the NFL. That's the Washington Commanders. I shout out to Brian Robinson, a big response from the crowd, giving a standing O. He gets like 22 yards on the ground, so he actually gets in the game. But again, I'll say this. I'm getting kind of tired of it. Maybe I'll even trademark it so nobody else can say it. Carson Wentz stinks at football. Like, I'm sorry. There's not enough good games that he's put together that I'm like, oh, he's actually pretty good. Like, even the MVP year when he was a candidate and then he got hurt, like, bro, that was a mirage, man. This guy stinks. He stinks. And you know what? It's the Titans, bro. It wasn't like this world-beating defense that's supposed to shut you down. It's the Titans. They ran their offense. They did what they had to do. Henry had himself a day. And the Commanders are just terrible, bro. They're terrible. Bottom feeders of the NFC East for the foreseeable future, as long as Carson Wentz is the quarterback. Now, I will ask you this, Chris Gooch.
Mm-hmm.
These guys keep losing. When do they give up on Carson Wentz as fast as the Colts did after a bad week 17, 18 loss or whenever that was? The Colts said, the fucking hell with this shit. We'll go get somebody else. Can this be a midseason swing? If the Commanders think they're built to win, not built now, but like they have talent.
So they can make the change because it's not going to matter. But I think it's going to be more of the same. You know, like he could create more with his legs. We were talking about Heineke, right?
Heineke could be Sam Howell.
I think there's more seasoning on him before he gets a shot. Heineke's definitely the next guy in line, I would imagine.
What's it going to take?
I got to look at the contract.
You actually put Washington football team.
I don't care.
That's what their name should be.
I agree.
Actually,
listen, the Titans now pulled off 3 in a row.
Yeah, the Titans are doing enough to
they got the Colts and the Texans
they're doing what we thought the Titans are like. Look, I think the Titans suck, but I thought the Titans sucked 2 years in a row.
Yes,
and they were winning playoff games.
They outperformed,
taking the 1 seed. So I'm going to be wrong on the Titans until I'm right on them because I just am not going to buy in. I promise you that. And I just won't. Derrick Henry is the only guy that I'm on board with in that.
Hilliard scored too.
Yeah. Well, I'm on board with Hilliard too. I shouldn't say that, but this for Mojo.
Got it.
Ryan Tannehill doing enough to stave off the Malik Willis talk, which that's probably premature as well. But they did draft a guy to potentially be the quarterback of the future. So as long as they're winning games, it's probably better for Malik Willis to honestly sit there and ride the bench for a little bit. And I would imagine that Tannehill in the next year or so does make way and Willis gets a start. But the Titans are one of the best coached teams in football, and Vrabel just continues to prove it. Redskins, Washington Commanders, whatever the fuck they are, they suck. Carson Wentz, I'll never say he's decent again.
Welcome to the dark side.
I look deep.
All right, moving on. Seahawks, Saints, a high-scoring affair here where it was just all right. I've done a lot of bad things or made bad decisions when it comes to fantasy football. Yesterday, right before the game, I said to my, I didn't even text I have a partner because of the league we go in together, me and my buddy Mark. And I didn't even text him. I said, you know what? The hell with this Taysom Hill experiment at tight end. I'm just going to put Irv Smith Jr. in there.
No.
And because Knox was ruled out, and I was like, all right, because Knox is my tight end. And I benched him, and I lost by 1. So clearly, that was a decision that might have won me a fantasy game. Taysom Hill is an absolute monster on the football field, wherever he is. You have to account for him like you have to account for a Deebo Samuel. It's the truth. Deebo Samuel might be a little bit more explosive when it comes to speed, and he might get a couple of balls out of the backfield. But, bro, everywhere that Taysom Hill is, you got to know where he's at because he's going to make a play. And it's crazy because he finally threw a ball yesterday, and he went 1 for 1 for 22 yards and a touchdown. So, like, the kid can do it all.
So he's probably if not the best, he's definitely one of the best weapons in the red zone in the NFL.
He's a vulture when it comes to everybody else on that team.
He's clearly 112 yards.
He's clearly their biggest rushing threat, and that includes Alvin Kamara, who has been largely absent for over a season at this point, besides the Pro Bowl after party where he beat the shit out of some guy.
That was the most actually.
But the story to me is we're talking about Seattle and Geno Smith, and I'm getting a lot of the vibes that I'm getting about NFL fans talking about the Lions that we get when we're talking about Seattle. Seattle should not be giving up 39 points to the Saints. Andy Dalton, no Michael Thomas, Kamara banged up.
Olave gets hurt. This defense is so bad. Saquon in Seattle is going to rush for 280 yards in your game that you think Seattle might win. All right. Revenge game for Geno. What don't you get?
He threw three TDs yesterday. Geno.
Oh, listen, Geno Smith is because he had to.
But also what you're going to see out of Geno Smith, and it might inflate his numbers a little bit, is that defense isn't going to stop anybody. So as long as they're giving up 39 points, they're going to probably get a little bit softer coverage, and teams are going to pull back a little bit. And you're going to see Geno flick it around late in games or even in games where they're in it against shitty teams. They're not blowing anybody out because their defense is so bad. They had a fucking 3-touchdown lead against Detroit or 4-touchdown lead, and they won by 2. So
it's true. It's not. You're not wrong.
Anyway, Seahawks defense is so bad.
Seahawks are bad.
Speaking of bad teams,
speaking of very bad teams, this is a very bad beat on my betting ticket as well. I don't know why I'm out there thinking and beating on the drum that like the Detroit Lions have the best offense in football. They're exciting to watch, like electrifying shit, and everybody they come out there and they don't score a point.
Jared Goff at the helm, and he's not going into Gillette Stadium and beating Bill Belichick, who. This is a classic case of everybody getting on board with shit for no reason. Ready?
I mean, there's reason.
No, there's not. They're 1-5 or 1-4. Like the Lions are a bad football team, right? You're looking at their offense because they were getting beat by 40 at halftime against Philly, and they crept back into the game. They've gotten favored against shitty teams a couple times. Guess what? They gave up fucking 400 passing yards on 2 drives, if that's even possible, to the Vikings to blow the game. The Lions don't win football games. They're not going into the Patriots stadium and beating Bill Belichick. But what I want to say is, like, everyone was on board thinking the Lions were somehow good and getting all this respect. And then everybody was on the flip side of that saying, like, well, the Patriots don't have anybody. They don't even have an offensive coordinator, but their defense is fucking so good. They cover. Look what they did to that.
5 field goals and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. That's pretty much
they're playing.
So they had no offense.
It's like Shiano playing against Temple.
He's right there.
Like special teams and defense, run the football, insert boring white quarterback that's fat, and you win football games.
Is Zappy fat? I haven't seen him play yet.
I don't know. He's probably fucking ripped for all I know. But if you put his face next to Mac Jones' face,
same.
And even like young Tom Brady, who then started taking HGH and
look at that with those accusations. He likes kale and lots of
80% of Tom Brady's career, and then 20% of the rest of it.
Oh, we haven't even got 80%. Brady yet.
He was exempt from. They didn't test for anything.
Okay,
and then the last 20%, he's been exempt.
All right, good. All right, next, what do we got? Right. We already brought it up. He's on the ball. I'm not. The Vikings get the job done against Chicago. Chicago had the lead in this game late. So that kind of puts you to pump the brakes a little bit on Minnesota. But Minnesota gets it done. And Justin Fields running for his life again. What the frig with the Khalil Herbert? I know, I understand Montgomery played, but you left Herbert on the bench, basically. I think he had like 2 reps. It's like, come on, man. Like, I'm a fantasy owner of him, and it burned me. I still should win tonight, down 5 with Mahomes left.
Khalil Herbert's the backup.
Yeah, I understand. But here's the thing. He is a backup. He is not a supplemental, complemental back.
Montgomery is one of the few backs where, even though he has shitty averages, his low yards per carry average, but he gets a lot of goal line usage, and he's their clear back. They hand him the ball 80 or 90% of the time that he's playing.
Justin Jefferson, another big day yesterday. 12 catches.
You know what, though? It's fun.
Really
it's fun to watch. Yeah, he did.
In the first half.
It's fun to watch Justin Jefferson, but I still can't figure out for the life of me. Me and my dad had this conversation yesterday. How does he get so wide open?
Wide
open. You would think he should get the Devontae Adams treatment. Double him up. Single, like safety over the top. Something. Well, he's wide open when he catches somebody's ball. Like there's not a defender within 6 yards.
2 reasons. One, he's just got such a good feel for route running.
I get that,
like
but Jesus.
Knowing when to sit it down, knowing when to push it, knowing when to just like, if you watch, that's one of the guys at the receiver school on Instagram, one of the best accounts on Instagram, by the way, is they break down route running, and Justin Jefferson is just so good. And when you couple that with the fact that his agility, his speed, it's like other guys might be able to have an understanding of the way he does, but when you combine that with the athletic ability, and I gotta say, man, the Minnesota what's his coach? What's the head coach? The new one,
McDaniel. Daniels.
Minnesota.
The guy from the Rams.
The guy from the Rams.
Yeah, I forgot.
Kevin
O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell. He's very.
Or was that Robin? Who played Robin in Batman and Robin?
I don't know. Chris O'Donnell.
I
do know.
Jesus Christ.
So he's a very good play caller. He's very creative with what he's doing. I'm calling
him Chris O'Donnell going forward.
Maybe there's a shred of what's happening, and nobody's mentioned this yet. What's happening in LA right now is the product of them being good for a little bit and losing a lot of their coaching staff to other teams. If you look around the league, it's the Rams coaching staff is the Jets, the Packers, the 49ers, like that coaching tree from Shanahan to McVay.
Yep.
That's
spread around.
That's spread around right now. It's in Minnesota. There's a guy everywhere from that system. So I think even Zach Taylor is from that system.
Yeah, he is. Matter of fact, he is. Yeah.
I think you see a little bit of that with Justin Jefferson. And also you might be seeing a little bit of that with the Rams.
Oh,
all right. Moving on to the Chargers and the Browns. The Chargers escaped this one 30-28. How was this game end again? It was what the hell? I was watching Jacoby Brissett very upset. Did they miss a field goal? I think they missed the field goal. Yeah, they missed the field goal.
They got the ball back.
Yes, they got the ball back. Yeah. And then, I mean, look, this is a very Browns way to lose a game is to miss a field goal, and we get that. But shout out to the Chargers. I mean, look, their offense is still clicking. Austin Eckler is just so goddamn good. He's just so fun to watch. Yeah, every time the ball's in his hands,
Chargers are lucky to escape.
Not a great day out of Herbert. Not the biggest, gaudiest numbers out of Herbert, but on the ground, those guys can run.
Very workmanlike day for Herbert, though. You're not going to always light it up. And they're lucky to escape with a win, considering the amount of injuries that defense is dealing with on the road. A conference win against a team that's kind of neck and neck with you in the standings in some degree. That was a big win. And as the Chargers get some guys back, they could be scary down the stretch. But I still, for whatever reason, I just can't buy in on the Chargers just yet.
It's the coaching staff to me, man.
Yeah, bro. I think everybody thinks that they're the darling coaching staff. I think he's a nerd.
No Keenan Allen in that game, by the way, too. All right. The topic of conversation is, it's not going to get too long-winded, but my God. So the Bucs get a win. Congrats to the Bucs. They got this win hand delivered to them by the referees. Hand delivered. Because if they didn't get that first down, the Falcons were rolling. They were rolling. They were getting the ball back, and who knows what could have happened.
Yes.
But they don't even get that chance because of the worst call that I've seen in so long.
It was a bad call, but they didn't get it hand delivered.
No. Listen, hear me out. Well, in that regard, I'm saying if they would have got the ball back, they could have had a shot.
They got their opportunity to come back robbed.
Ripped from their lifeless hands. And I'm telling you right now, there is people on Facebook that have come at me and said, like, oh, this happens every week. No. You're a Brady nut hugger, and that's why you're saying shit like that, because this has been happening, and he gets this treatment for his entire career. He was not thrown down aggressively. He was wrapped up and ragdolled because this is the NFL, and you're supposed to. But you know what? Because of Tua's situation and the way his concussion happened, there's the same tackle, the same gorilla, alligator, crocodile, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Crocodile tackles.
You've seen people like actually saying like, oh, like this was the right call?
Oh, I've seen people saying
no, not the right call. That this happens every week, that we should just like omit it. Like, don't worry. Like, this happens every week, guys. What are you talking about? It's okay. It's not okay. And it's bad for the game.
I watched Aaron Rodgers get sodomized 3 times yesterday. Right. And I'm so happy I chose that word.
So am I. Because I didn't know
the word I was about to say.
But
this, no calls.
The rough in the passer call has to change. There was one called against the Cowboys where they hit Stafford in the chest. And even the replay guy, when they throw it to LA and they're like, oh, what do you think? He's like, he didn't hit him in the head. I don't know what.
My point is, you can't make that call on third down, right? Going to the fourth, with under a minute
given
left,
the situation,
you can't
make that call. I was saying
the same thing yesterday when the Packers sacked Daniel Jones and there was like an illegal contact in the back end.
Well, that's different.
And then I was saying the same thing when Rasul Douglas tackled fucking
this
tight end.
This is the definition. This is the definition of how you're supposed to tackle when playing the game of football. Because the guy is 47 years old and he's fragile and he's been in the league forever and he's won all these championships and he's now bitch made and now divorced and all this other shit. I don't give a shit. The call is terrible.
Just because he won all those championships and now he's bitch made.
You can't make the call based off the fact that of his stature in the league. You can't do it. I'm sorry. You ruined this game of football. And if you're Falcons fans, which I know there's a couple out there that I know personally, I can only imagine how they were viewing this shit. Because they got the Brady treatment, man. This is the Brady treatment, and that shouldn't exist in this league.
There's always that shred of like, when your team, when you don't believe that your team could win it all, there's that shred of like, oh, it would have been cool, but we'll pick 5th.
It's a bad look in the NFL, man.
Hey, look, we were just talking about this. Bleacher Report's coming in with a report that teams are eyeing certain Panthers players now that their season is basically over.
DJ Moore.
Talking about
DJ Moore to the Chiefs. Watch.
Why are you pointing to me like I want to?
Because I called it a couple weeks ago.
Fucking come to Green Bay, DJ.
No. Oh, baby.
Take that.
These things are going to get hot over there. Can you imagine somebody else getting Christian McCaffrey right now?
The Packers are in on any receiver that's available in trade.
Any.
And then that's not a debate. They say it. Like we're kicking the tires on anything. and everything.
In any event, the Bucks win. Shitty call.
And I should say
bad
it's not a
call,
debate.
whatever.
That's not a prediction. That's a
Last
fact.
game was last night's game, and one thing is for sure: Lamar Jackson is once again a cheat code.
I
And,
could say the same thing, Bailey. I had the Bucks in Survivor Pool too. Throw the flag, baby.
and that's another thing with Tom Brady. They asked him about it, and he's like, "I don't throw the flags." Like that's your response.
He was like,
I
I
would
don't,
just
he was
smirk.
like, I don't throw flags, but I kick the defender when he tackles me. Did you see that?
He
He should have
did.
been the
He
flag
did
should have been
kick
on Tom Brady.
We said that on the Mojo Market Report this morning. It's insane. But anyway, this game, Sunday Night Football, the Ravens improved. They get the win. John Harbaugh, one of the best coaches in football, gets himself a win. Justin Tucker, what was the stat about Tucker's field goal?
Dude,
This is
Justin
incredible.
Tucker's field goal. I'm not going to bore you with the geometry.
No, you should. It's
Equation,
really good.
but the coordinates of the field, basically, if the uprights were 1.5 feet wide, starting at the very dead center of the football
Middle.
field, which is where they are, imagine. So, if they were just straight up and they were 1.5 feet wide, the field goal still would have been good.
That's
So
incredible.
he kicked it dead
So
center.
when you say
down the middle,
down the so the generic
hole in one,
oh right down the
hole
middle.
in one. He kicked the hole in one.
Like I'm just saying, like the announcers are like, oh, it's perfect, or right down the middle. They're usually just being vague. This was literally the perfect kick, and it crushed me in fantasy. But
I think that there's probably a lot more kicks that's true about that were, but
so where'd you read this?
I saw it on.
it's
something
a
too.
Were they
meme.
bored?
It's a meme.
Yeah,
yes.
obviously.
All right, so there you go.
But it's also given like he's like one of the best kickers of all time.
Ever. He's the best kicker ever.
No. There's been
Who's
some,
better?
I mean, bro, I don't fucking know.
Stats, bro.
Stop, dude.
Most accurate kicker in history. That's called statistics.
Who's the best kicker ever?
They're gonna say
Mike
like points,
Adam
Anderson.
Vinatieri.
Nah,
Clutch
this guy's better
moments.
than Vinatieri.
So take all your stats, stick them up your ass. Give me it's December or January.
Tucker made
mind
60
you.
straight fourth quarter overtime kicks.
That's amazing.
It's January, right?
See, yeah, no, there's
and
nobody
there's
better.
about 3 inches of snow.
Yeah, and then they come out and they wheel out the cart to make sure that
They all had shovels.
Who do
in
you
their
want
back
to make that
pockets.
kick? A prime Adam Vinatieri or Justin Tucker?
Justin Tucker,
Tucker.
without
Tucker.
question.
Me
All right, you
too.
guys got it.
Bro, and you know what's even best?
We end the show after that
We
comment.
we
I'll
end this.
take Lawrence Tynes in Green Bay.
Who cut,
Oh, he's like at this. Oh my god.
cut his mic, Chris.
He chose
Cut his mic.
violence on a Monday
You were a
morning.
piece of shit, my friend. Just so we can be clear about that. Are you a Mets fan by any
Lawrence,
chance? You
no,
fuck?
he's a Yankees fan. Lawrence
I hope the
Tynes.
Yankees lose.
Oh my
I hope the Yankees
God.
lose this series just because of that.
Bro,
comment.
do you understand?
And I'm a
Like
Yankees fan.
he had that in the chamber, right? He was like, just
Don't worry.
I'll
Guess
leave it
what?
right here.
Now
Actually,
that
you know what?
now that I
I
know
got
we're in
this
a
bitch.
I know we're in a shootout,
Oh.
I'm gonna load my clip. All right, motherfucker. Game on.
How many Giants
Game
fans can remember Lawrence Tynes?
Oh, I sure
many
shit did. I
Packer
worked
fans
for the
remember
team
him?
when they did it.
I
Oh,
remember him.
terrible, awful. That was
Tonight,
amazing. What a
tonight.
clutch
You're a
clutch
piece
moment.
of shit.
Going into tonight, Gooch is in the lead, 2 games under 500, 39-41 after 5 weeks of play. I'm right behind him with 1 game, 38-42. Rob, it's now auto fade mode. 29-51 losses.
Dave is 3 games ahead of me, and I'm in auto fade. I thought we were doing
Dave,
money
I'm
line.
9
I
games
thought
ahead
it
of you,
was
dog.
a joke. You said I have 32.
You have
26.
you have 29. I have 38.
I think you said 32.
I don't know. I could be wrong. No. You're definitely at 29. I did the math.
No, I thought you have 32. You just said.
I have
Read it again.
38.
Okay, so we're here. I thought we were doing money line, guys. They tricked me. My headphones. They're like, yo, we're just doing money line, guys, beforehand. So I'm
His
like, all
headphones
right.
are malfunctioning. He thought there's no spreads involved. But you even said he might be worse.
Yeah, you don't know. Like, let's just look at the money lines. It might be like, oh shit.
Anyway, we got
Never mind.
ourselves an AFC West battle here tonight. It is the Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders coming off their first win under a Josh Jacobs vehicle. And, of course, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They've been playing very good football outside of the Colts game. This spread, to me, high, I want to say, but not really. I don't know. This one's tough. I don't know. Gooch, I'll start with you. How you feeling about this one? The Raiders, obviously, you did a deeper dive on this. We went into this one on the Mojo Market Report this morning. Where are you feeling on this one as you go through your blank notes? Oh, look at that. Was that a flex?
No, I wrote notes and they're in the other room, so I'm
Thought
gonna
he
have
was
to
like,
wing it.
Here's my notes.
I
I'm just
usually
gonna
don't
drop
take
them here
notes
and
for
go
the
from the
games, but like for the previews, I feel like it's essential. But I watch the football games. I don't need notes for those. But this
Ooh.
one, look, man, the Raiders play the Chiefs well. If you look at their Chiefs run, the Pat Mahomes era, and the Derek Carr, that matchup is surprisingly like the Raiders have played better than most teams have done against the
Mhm.
Chiefs outside of the blowout loss last year. the Chiefs' offensive line is not a good place for the Raiders to try and get their pass rush going because they're the third best in football, arguably the best, depending on how you want to look at it. The Raiders in the first couple weeks, they were getting pressure, but they weren't getting home. Now that's even kind of dried up. They're not getting any pressure on the quarterback, but the Raiders are stopping the run well. So I think Edwards-Helaire is like almost a non-factor in this one. I like the over.
Edwards-Helaire non-factor, really?
Yeah, the Raiders stopped.
I think he scores.
Raiders
tonight.
stopped the run. I don't know that the Raiders are going to be able to establish the run because if there is a weakness for the Chiefs, it's passing, pass defense. I just think that there's a shootout written all over it. I also think that 7.5 is way too big of a number for the Chiefs are really, really good. It is a home game on primetime, but the Raiders are desperate. And you saw the way they played last week against the Denver defense that people thought I think people even will still consider them to be a better unit than the Chiefs defense. This is going to be a closer game than 7, I think. I think it's going to be a
taking the Raiders.
Best, so I'm on the Raiders for sure.
All right.
I've also picked the Raiders all 5 weeks so far.
That was just a favor to your buddy.
No, fuck him. Not really, Joe. I love you, buddy. But
He's
that's
watching.
That's not why I pick the teams, and that's what I'm getting at. Joe is watching. Joe, not fuck you.
But anyway, I like the Chiefs in this game to win, right? You're right when you say the Raiders do play them close, especially within the last couple of years.
I have another point.
I feel like this game might be like a 4-point lead. 7.5 is a lot. I'm going to go with the Raiders with the points. I don't love it. I won't gain any ground on Gooch. I don't care about that. This is too much. I think there's going to be a closer game than people think. What do you got?
I want to say another thing here.
I'm taking Raiders.
In terms of just like a play, if you want to make a little prop action, look at what Mac Hollins has done the last 2 weeks on that Raiders offense.
Take the unders.
No.
Oh.
You look at what he's done the last 2 weeks, and then you look at who's been absent the last 2 weeks, who's coming off of basically one of the most embarrassing games of his NFL career, who has a close relationship with Derek Carr, and that is one Hunter Renfrow. I think Hunter Renfrow is going to eat in this game. I think that the Chiefs aren't going to have much of an answer for him. He's just, for some reason, overlooked and underrated. I'm sure opposing coaches don't overlook and underrate him, but nonetheless, there's going to have to be somebody in the slot lined up against that guy, and I think he's going to play one of his better games of his career. I think he's going to show up tonight, and Derek Carr is going to feed him often. So I'm going to put in some props on any overs for Hunter Renfrow. But it is the Hunter Renfrow show in this game tonight, and he's going to keep that game close enough. The Raiders might, if you want to get crazy, I mean, I'm not going to go that route.
Money line?
Fuck that. Don't waste your money.
Well, I think this might be actually
the Raiders are 1-3.
This is reverse, by the way. I think.
You know what? I didn't even adjust the money line. So ignore the money line.
Ignore the money line on this screen, guys. By the way,
you guys are screwing me already. You see what I'm talking about?
Rob,
every
it's
week.
no time to chase. You're only down fucking 30 games. Where are you going with this one?
I gotta go with you guys. Both going the Raiders, man. I gotta go with the Chiefs because they're
Just
gonna
like that.
score a
That's
lot
fun.
of points. I was seeing some stuff on Henshaw, like they were down on him, or he might have been hurt or something.
He's coming off a concussion.
So yeah, he don't even know where he is. We're scoring touchdowns over here in Kansas City tonight, guys.
All right, so that'll do it for a show. Thank you guys for joining us. I thank you to all the sponsors and everybody helping this show move forward, and we're very appreciative of everything you guys do. So thank you guys for that. Go check out the Mojo Market Report. It's in this bio. I keep saying bio. It's in the description to click on over there. Download the app for those guys as well. And that'll do it. So for Sturch and Gooch and Russell Rob and A5 Anthony with the Lawrence Tynes bomb. So now it's going to take Gooch 2-3 days to come up with something good for him. But there's really nothing now because this whole week, the Giants fans can puff out their chests just a little bit. So it's disgusting, but it happens.
I don't even know what the fuck.
We'll be back Thursday. Yankee baseball.
Hopefully the Yankees are up 1-0 next time you talk to us. So we'll see you guys back here on Thursday.
Fuck you, Nick, Anthony, both of you.